The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name's Kyle Bowen. One love to the Don't Dose Art Lab for giving us the facility to give you that West Coast bias on the low. One love to our neighbors. And one love to you and you. And you and you and you and you for joining us, okay? What a blessing. Even in a nightmare season, we're able to, live the dream. And speaking of the dream, I didn't know this was going to be the case, okay? Let's jump right into it. Amidst the doom and gloom of whatever the puck this is, Tom Willander has been more than a pleasant surprise. Far from perfect, don't get me wrong. Not playing more than 15 minutes a game, probably playing against a lot of third and fourth liners. Whatever the fancy stats are telling you. His competition is probably not stiff, but he's doing the most. And he's taken a huge step in his development. Seriously, how much better is Tom Willander this season compared to where he was way back in September? Because in September, he didn't even look close. And he spent a couple weeks in Abbotsford with Manuel Hotra. You see what I did there? With Manuel Hotra. And next thing you know, this dude is almost incredible. Right? How many games has this guy played? 15, 16, 17? Do the math. It's somewhere in and around there. I believe he has like 5 or 6 assists. Sorry, this is not a stat show. But outside of the points per game, shift in and shift out, he's already better than Marcus Pettersson and Tyler Myers. He's already the Canucks' third best defenseman. And that's not an overstatement. That is the truth. I'm not here to tell you that the Canucks are ahead of schedule because Tom Willander is already pretty damn good at playing NHL games. Like, this is the Christmas gift that we didn't see coming. And we got to open it up early. And speaking of opening it up early, Quinn Hughes is still a Vancouver Canuck. And I didn't know Tom Willander was going to be in and around Quinn Hughes for like 40-plus games prior to the decision, right? The quote-unquote inevitable. Quinn Hughes may leave Vancouver. Originally, I thought, Tom Willander would probably get like 1 or 2 games in the NHL this season, be in and around Quinn Hughes in a regular season race, in the dressing room, when it really matters, and, be able to learn a lot in that amount of time. But, we're here. It's months and months and months and months of Quinn Hughes being around Tom Willander, and that's a damn good thing for his development. And say what you want about, I think Rick Dollywall said this, Quinn Hughes is lollygagging. I gotta define that word on Google. But say what you want about Quinn Hughes in recent times and his body language and that shift against the Colorado Avalanche and how it's looking JT Miller-esque when it comes to his leadership. But let's be honest and let's be completely real. Let's only tell the truth. Law and order, okay? That's not the real Quinn Hughes. That is a bad outlier. And, you and you and you and you and me and me and me and me, we have our bad days. And again, this is the truth. We have way more bad days than Quinn Hughes. Based on what I've seen in his first 400-plus games with the Vancouver Canucks. Again, that is not Quinn Hughes. And, he spoke to the media, a.k.a. he spoke to, Trevor Beggs and company, who, we're trying to get on the episode today. He was just at practice, but he's he's using his fingers, slamming a keyboard, making articles. Can't be with us right now on the pod. But, Quinn Hughes, talking to the people, talking to the microphones, and, saying once again that it sucks to lose, that this is hard. I'm paraphrasing just a bit, but again, he's human, and he, quote unquote, again, paraphrasing, probably isn't handling this perfectly as a leader, but he's been through it all. Some wins and a lot of losses, and this sucks. I think it was inevitable for at some point, with everything going on, and, with the noise the president created months and months and months and months and months ago with the whole brother conversation, right? And the devils and the Illuminati. It was inevitable that eventually Quinn Hughes, super serious, Captain Serious, he was going to break down. And, we kind of saw it against Colorado and in some parts against San Jose too. But again, I don't think we're going to see that again. And because Tom Willander is going to continue to be around one of the best defensemen in hockey doing his thing. And he's going to learn a lot. And there's been even some times where Tom Willander has played with Quinn Hughes. In fact, we should see that more. Right? It's a damn shame that Adam Foote, coaching like he's one of the worst coaches in hockey, he barely mixes it up when it comes to his decor. But he'll hit the blender with everyone in the forward department in practice. But again, he kind of leaves the defense alone. He'll push the blender every now and then, but I'm talking about his philosophy and the way they practice. It's always the same thing. All that being said, there's been moments when we see Tom Willander with Quinn Hughes, we see Philip Roenick, helping out Marcus Pettersson or Tyler Myers, who are playing some of the worst hockey of their career. And things, to me, I'm not going to say they completely slow down, but I feel as if we see glimpses of things being slightly better. Okay, the bar is low. It's not hard to be slightly better. But in my opinion, one simple switch the Canucks could pull off ASAP is having Tom Willander play with Quinn Hughes full time and having Philip Roenick save, again, Marcus Pettersson from Tyler Myers. All right, play Tyler Myers less. Give him the 15 minutes or less a game. Philip Roenick, go save Marcus Pettersson, and let's rock a different top four. And I know some of you are probably like, Tom Willander, could he handle that? That's a lot for a rookie. Quinn Hughes has made Tyler Myers look good. Quinn Hughes has made Luke Shen have a second third of a career or a third of a career, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he's made a lot of money because of what he did with Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes could play with anyone, especially a former first rounder, and especially a former first rounder who's taken huge strides. Like, ask yourself this question, and I know he's not perfect. It's happened. I could count on one hand how many times it seems like Tom Willander has made big mistakes. But again, I just said one hand. We have to deal with Marcus Pettersson. We have to deal with Tyler Myers. We have to deal with DPD this year. I would need 18 hands. I'd have to be an octopus times 2, right? To count how many times all those guys have made mistakes. But with Tom Willander, it's clear that his athletic ability and his confidence right now is allowing him to be, instinctual as well. And before you know it, you're getting a guy who's somewhat mistake-free for the most part. So again, I just think that he could work with Quinn Hughes ASAP. And maybe, just maybe, that could help save the season, right? Like, the Western Conference is a bit of a joke. I know, we're probably 7 to 8 to 10 to 11 points out of the playoff picture. I'm too scared to look at the standings. My girlfriend said I'm not to look at that stuff at night, okay? It drags me down. But you never know. You never know. And, if it's not for the season and the success of the season, don't you think it's good for Tom Willander to get a taste of that? Especially if Quinn Hughes is leaving ASAP. Like, next season, the Canucks are probably going to need Tom Willander to be way, way, way better, to be a more important player. And maybe they can capitalize on, Hughes guiding him. Right? A smart guy like Tom Willander with his skating ability, again, he's nowhere close to the ability Quinn Hughes, inherits, right? In the Hughes genetics pool, okay? He's not able to do what Quinn Hughes does, but Tom Willander is still an elite skater. And a smart dude, a cerebral dude, a confident dude, a guy that's going to want to probably try to, mimic some Quinn Hughes based on what he's already learned this season. But what if they play together? What if he's on the ice with them? Well, what if he's, I don't know, downloading that data while it's happening at real time in a game? I wonder if he takes that knowledge, that instinct, takes it with him to, Sweden in the offseason or wherever he trains, and he's able to take a big step. Because, again, it's different. It's different when that guy's on your team, when that guy's your captain. And you could learn with a front row seat. Tom Willander, also the guy that seems to like to ask questions. Something about him gives me that energy. Again, a confident dude, a guy that had a holdout this summer, right? I was comparing him to Eric Lindros. I was just frustrated, but a confident dude. This guy's going to want to get better. And, whenever comfortable, I feel as if this guy would be asking Quinn Hughes a lot of questions. And say what you want about Quinn. Doesn't talk much. It's full of cliches, but I guarantee if that, you introduce the topic of, hockey instinct, athleticism, like how do you do that, Quinn Hughes? Like, if you try to nerd out with Quinn Hughes on the who, what, where, when, and whys of hockey, like he's going to talk to you. And I just believe that Tom Willander will absorb some of that info. You know what? Hey, don't be surprised, right? Here on Locked On Canucks. I know sometimes we're super optimistic, and it's not hard to be optimistic about what Tom Willander has done this season. And, we talked about Adam Foote not, really switching it up with how he deploys his decor in practices, right? A bit stubborn. A big Tyler Myers fan. He wants to make Project Tyler Myers a thing. And where does that ultimately lead us? It leads us with Tom Willander playing a lot with DPD. DPD has been struggling this season, but again, Tom Willander playing with DPD hasn't looked that bad. Like, he hasn't looked like DPD. Even though he just started playing NHL games weeks ago, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, I just talked to you about how Marcus Pettersson is probably playing worse because he's playing with Tyler Myers. That happens. Some players, they have to rely on their partners. It's just the way it is. It's the NHL. To get the most out of you, you have to be paired up with someone that can help you out, okay? Some people need help. Not everyone is elite, right? Not everyone is quote-unquote alpha. Can you even use that word anymore? Anyways. But for Tom Willander, again, he hasn't had to have had DPD playing as well as he did last year for Tom Willander to ease into this thing called being good at playing defense in the NHL. So I just been impressed. I just been impressed. Okay, hit the like button for Tom Willander. Okay, because where would we be without him? Probably 32nd in the league and not 30th. Okay. Anyways, let's shout out our friends. Maybe I'll try to get Trevor on. Okay, I got to text him because he was at practice and there's some notes. Okay. Again, one love to you and you and you and you. You're listening and watching Locked On Canucks. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Man, oh man, Trevor's favorite game, favorite family pastime. I'm paraphrasing. ChatGPT wrote that script. Anyways, FanDuel is doing you and you and you and you a favor. If you're one of those people who like to play responsibly, and that's giving you some money in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet, okay? That's life. You got to go visit FanDuel, okay? And especially with the NFL, right? Moving quick, moving fast, moving furious. Like the last third of the season, intense times. Dude, get in on the action, okay? Maybe your team's out of it, but you still want to feel something on a Sunday and you want to, feel something responsibly. Make a parlay, put some money in, and before you know it, you're a fan of the Carolina Panthers. For real. And FanDuel, right? That's where the live spreads and the money lines, they adjust instantly, right? They're on top of it. player props update as guys heat up. Again, it's 2025. They fast with it. So if you want to, be in the middle of the action, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. That's FanDuel. The game moves fast. And so can you, man. Straight FanDuel, man. Doing its thing. Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. I'm going to, text Trevor right now, let him know that we're live and we're on air. And this guy at practice today, getting all the quotes and whatnot, and also getting shouted out on Donnie and Dolly. That's pretty incredible, man. I know this guy's got a family. He's been married. He's had 2 kids, but that might be the greatest accomplishment of Trevor Beggs' life. And that sounds crazy, I know, but think about it, right? Think about it. How many times have you seen an athlete win a championship at the end of the year and say to the camera, this is the best moment of their life while holding their kids or hugging their wife? They're pretty much telling you again, bros, before... Man, oh man. Bros before knows, man. Got to win those championships. Look at this comment, okay? This comment is, it's making me think. And again, you can believe whatever you want. I was kind of here yesterday, but Roma is saying Quinn has quit on the team. I guess the losing and drama has finally caught up to him. Trade him ASAP, but only to the Devils. Thank you. Oh, okay. I see what Roma's doing here. Roma's a New Jersey Devils fan, okay? Speaking of which, Roma also saying Nemec and Willander would have been nice, but Nemec is no longer available. That's a missed opportunity. Roma, come on. What are you doing here? I've seen so many people do this, even on yesterday's episode, right? People calling me an idiot from Detroit. What? We're going to give up Nate Danielson and 4 first-round picks for Quinn Hughes? Are you crazy? Nate Danielson's already a first-round pick. Dude, it's Nate Danielson. I'm pretty sure the guy works for Apple or Whole Foods, okay? Relax. We're talking about Quinn Hughes. Always compared to Bobby Orr and Cale Makar. And trust me, people on the East, in New Jersey, in Detroit, you think they're staying up at 10 o'clock to watch one of the worst teams in hockey? Even if they employ one of the best players in hockey of all time, they're not doing that. They don't know the real Quinn Hughes. They see the clips, they see the highlights. Now they're seeing a little bit of the quote-unquote body language, and they're like, yeah, he's a great player. But, there are a lot of great players out there. Quinn Hughes is one of one or one of 2. For real. Have him on your team, and your team's always in the offensive zone when he's on the ice. It feels like that. Even in moments this season, if you really close your eyes and think about it, yeah, we've been burned, and we've allowed the most goals against out of any team. And Quinn Hughes hasn't been his best defensively, okay? But still, all the chances that we get, all the possession that we get in the offensive zone, it's still when this guy's, doing his thing, dancing around the ice. And yeah, flip-flopping some shots, not getting a shot through, whatever. It's been one of those seasons. The timing is a little bit off. But even when the timing is a little bit off for him, he's the most dominating player on the ice between both teams. Unless you're playing, Nathan McKinnon or Connor McDavid, Celebrini, But, even in his matchups against Cale Makar this year, who's been the better player? Who's been the better player? Quinn Hughes is so good. So don't be coming at me with Simon Nemec is no longer available in a Quinn Hughes trade. Oh, we can get him next year. Do you guys want to win the cup? Well, Jack Hughes doesn't tear his ACL by getting a paper cut? Trust me. You know what I'm trying to say? Live in the moment. You guys have a good team right now. Go for it right now. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen next year. If you have a good team and you employ Quinn Hughes, you got a chance. So that's why you give up Simon Nemec, man. That is something else. Let's see if we can get Trevor on the phone, okay? Let me click a button here and let's talk about practice. Trevor, you on the phone? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, bud. What's going on? How you doing?
Just talking to the people, talking to you and you and you and you and you and you and, telling people to shut up because they're not willing to give up Nate Danielson for Quinn Hughes or Simon Nemec for Quinn Hughes. Like, man, oh man, today I was mad at us, the people who talk about the Canucks, who post things on the internet about the Canucks. Okay. Some people call them the media. We're all fans at the end of the day, but, I feel as if that clip that went viral with Quinn Hughes looking, lazy or whatnot, it's again, made him not worthy of a Nate Danielson trade, Trevor.
Wow. Is that what you're saying, or is that what the people are saying?
That's what the people are. The comments yesterday on yesterday's episode about the Red Wings. Today's episode, just talking about, just Quinn Hughes and what he could do for Tom Willander and whatnot. And now we just had a comment saying, pretty much in a trade involving the New Jersey Devils, it will be impossible to get Simon Nemec. Impossible? Really? That's out of the question? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I know people in other markets, they overvalue their players. And you could argue, maybe we're doing that with Quinn Hughes, but we're also talking about a defenseman that just won the Norris Trophy not that long ago. We're talking about a defenseman who, in my mind, has been the best defenseman in the NHL over the past 3 seasons. Only Cale Makar is really in his stratosphere. To say that, teams aren't giving up Nate Danielson or Simon Nemec for him is crazy. And I keep going back to this, Kyle. If that's the case, trade Quinn Hughes to a team who's going to give up assets for him because, again, we're talking about one of the best players in the NHL, despite what one clip about bad body language might have said. And look, man, it's hard to blame Hughes if the Canucks have broken him a bit. But I also keep going back to the fact, and I said this the other day, and every dayers know, this is a guy that's averaging more ice time than anyone in the NHL. No one's averaged as much ice time as Quinn Hughes since Dustin Byfuglien did so in 2016-17. Kyle, over the past 10 games, Quinn Hughes has played over 28 minutes a night. He's crested 30 on 2 occasions. He's playing a ton right now, and just one bad back check, I don't think erases the fact that this is one of the best defensemen in hockey.
Yeah, 100%. And you just got to ask for everything. And I just started looking at the Giannis how do you say his name? Giannis Antetokounmpo, the guy for the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the best players of all time.
Yeah.
That dude, he's on the trade block now. He wants out. And some of the trade offers that are being reported from Bleacher Report, again, you're talking about for a franchise guy, for a guy that's an outlier, for a guy that when he's on the ice, the play is going to be in the offensive zone. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, 95% of the time, you're on the attack when Quinn Hughes is on the ice. You just said that he plays 28 plus minutes a game. When he's happy, he does so easily. All that being said, this Giannis guy is supposedly going to get traded for a really good player, a really good young player, and 15 first-round picks. I'm paraphrasing just a bit, but it's 5 first-round picks. All I'm trying to say is, if I'm the Canucks, you make sure other teams are giving up the most for 2 more years of Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Kyle, we talked about it yesterday. Those trades just don't really happen in the NHL. But maybe it's time for the Vancouver Canucks to change the market, right?
Why not?
Look, we're talking about a crazy player getting traded here, and again, we've talked about Erik Karlsson on the show, or you want to look at more recent trades like Mikko Rantanen. We've seen multiple first-round picks change plans or change hands, I should say. So there's no reason why it shouldn't happen for Quinn Hughes. And yeah, man, like I said before, I hate that we're here, man. I love watching Quinn Hughes, and but if you're going to trade him, this has to be a franchise-altering trade. There's no way around it, man.
I would say franchise-saving trade. And Trevor, in no way, shape, or form do you want to go into a scenario where you trade Quinn Hughes this year to a team, and that team who had just acquired him trades him next year for more than what you get. So you straight up, because that's a possibility if the Canucks don't squeeze the most out of this and leverage having one of the best players in hockey of all time available. I know that's saying a lot, but I've watched hockey a lot in my life, and I'm the eye test backs that up, but when I constantly see this guy every 25 games having a stat that's right next to Bob Orr, I start thinking to myself, nah, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Speaking of him, talk about the body language today. You spoke with them, had a microphone, amongst others. What do you hear? What are you feeling from the Canucks captain right now? And does anything indicate to you that he still thinks there's a chance this season for the Canucks to turn this around? Like, again, what's his aura? That's what the kids are saying these days.
Yeah, to be honest, his aura seemed better than most days, but that's because auras are often better at practices than they are at games, right? Things at practice are a little bit looser. But aside from that, it kind of just seemed like the same old Quinn Hughes for the most part. I mean, look, at least he was somewhat honest today, like talking about, some of the frustrations he's felt. And he had that quote that caught my attention where he said it feels like he's been through everything under the sun here in Vancouver, both good and bad. Talked multiple times about how losing sucks. So I don't know if the body language was different than any other day, except for I think it's worse after a loss, obviously. But I think some of the things that caught my attention too are for those fans out there that think that maybe Quinn Hughes doesn't like what Adam Foote's doing or this season's changed his opinion on Adam Foote. I mean, Quinn Hughes a couple times today went out of his way to defend Adam Foote and talk about how the team is well coached. And talk about how competitive Adam Foote is. There's no one more competitive than Adam Foote, were the words out of his mouth. And God, it just makes me wonder, man. Like, is there something we're not seeing here, or is Quinn Hughes maybe living in fantasy land, or is this just kind of lip service to us in the media to maybe back off this guy a little bit?
Like, shout out if it is lip service coming from Quinn Hughes, for the sole purpose of maybe alleviating pressure from like Adam Foote. That's very, very kind. And, very, very captainy of Quinn Hughes. And I don't know. I'm not going to try twisting that. Like that's kind of cool. If we're looking for Quinn Hughes to be bought in and whatnot, and he's out here defending his head coach, it could be cliche, and it probably is cliche, but nonetheless, he said what he said. And, I did ask you, like, what's his energy like? Do you feel like he still believes? And that kind of answers my question. Like, again, could be full of fluff, but it kind of gives me something. And again, Trevor, you're at practice, you're in the room, like outside of Quinn Hughes, like it's doom and gloom here. Do you have a standing report? Like, are the Canucks 27 points out of a playoff spot? Probably not. Like, I just wonder, like, how's that room feeling? And do you get any inkling that room believes that they can make up 8 points here by the time the month ends?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I should have got that inclination, Kyle, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, you see some lighthearted moments of practice, like Marcus Pettersson kind of, giving it to Brock Besser, and they're sharing a laugh together. But, when you're in the room, like, no one's there, man. You see Tyler Myers hanging out, Jake DeBrusk coming in, the good vibes guys are there. Like, Keeper Sherwood was there. You don't see a lot of the other guys in there. I did see, the Abbotsford guys kind of chatting and joking around today. So, but those are fourth line guys, right? You need your leaders to kind of lead the charge here. And, I can't tell you that from being at practice, being in the room, that I'm convinced that they believe in each other. And kind of like, I hope they believe in each other, but like, look at the results, back it up for the other argument, right? Like Quinn Hughes specifically, 4 of his 6 seasons in Vancouver, they missed the playoffs, not to mention this season where they're one of the worst teams in the NHL. So, if they believe in each other, like, they must be true brothers, man, because otherwise I'm not quite sure where it's coming from.
Well, thanks, Trevor, for confirming that the season is over. Okay, Trevor? Straight up.
And anything could happen, Kyle. You're talking to the guy who did the episode comparing the Canucks to the 2019 Blues,
Yeah. Again, Trevor, it's not like I woke up today feeling jolly and feeling positive that's an outcome that could potentially happen. But, I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering because, again, like the NHL is so mid, and you win 6 or 7, and you're just back into it. And I'm not saying that's good or bad for the Canucks. I'm just, at the end of the day, I was just asking a question about the players themselves. Like, do you get the vibe that they believe that there's a chance of that? Because that is important. Like, you're only 25 games into the season, and I think if you don't get the vibe that they're like uber competitive right now and they believe they have a chance, and then it's kind of telling me that they're kind of mailing it in too, and they don't think they have.
But believe in what? Like, just believe in making the playoffs? They just believe in the fact they're a contender?
Because any competitor wants to still make the playoffs. Like, who cares about the expectations and the fans? Like, you're an athlete. I want my athletes on my favorite team wanting to win every game no matter what. Still thinking they have a chance when there's 56 games left in the season. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm just trying to see if, again, these athletes getting paid millions in that room understand that the NHL is mid and it's not that doom and gloom, right? The Canucks aren't 4-17-2, they're 4 games under 500, or, maybe 6 games under 500. When you include the overtime losses. But anyways, Trevor, I was just asking questions this holiday season. Anyways, we're 30 minutes into the show. I got to run another ad. Thanks for joining us, Trevor.
Yeah, of course, man. One love to you and you here on Locked On Canucks.
Okay, today's episode is brought to you by Drip Drop. Drippy drop, 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 okay? When Trevor's hydrated and needs to just, work better, work more efficiently, get that energy, get that mood, get that focus up, be optimistic. If Trevor wants better skin because he shaved his mustache and, he needs all the help he needs in the good looks department, okay? He's using Drip Drop no matter what. Okay, he uses Drip Drop for his daily routine, okay? He'll mix a packet in the morning with his water bottle before he sips his coffee. Next thing you know, Trevor's gorgeous inside and out. He's floating. He's moonwalking, okay? Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink, okay? It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar compared to these other brands. That's crazy. And it's being used by science, well, first of all, it's being used because it's got a science-backed formula. And it's being used by top college and pro teams. What? Drip Drop? You want to be an athlete? Are the Canucks using Drip Drop? Maybe they need it. Maybe Trevor needs to smuggle the Drip Drop into the room, okay? Maybe Aquilini don't want to pay the price for the Drip Drop, and Trevor's going to have to smuggle it in. Aquilini, if you are listening to this, though, you can get 20% off your first order, okay? Just visit dripdrop.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. Yes, that's 20% off your first order. Just use promo code LOCKEDONNHL at dripdrop.com. Stock up. Hey, Aquilini, stock up. Right? Got to do it and keep your mind and body performing at their best. With who? With Drip Drop. Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Let's just do it, okay? It's for the people, man. It's for the people. Boom, bam. Do the math. We got to get to the comments. Roma, man, we're just talking to the people of New Jersey. Shout out to Jersey Shore. Canada's getting its own version of Jersey Shore. Did you hear about that? Anyways, more on that in a couple minutes. Why are the Canucks so against rebuild? Canadian fan bases seem smart enough to handle it. I don't get it, and I don't know. This fan base is ready for new. It's ready for fresh. It's ready to scout prospects, and not the prospects ranked in like the top 20. They're ready to go all in. And when it comes to their knowledge of what's next. But this team, man, the Canucks, what was that quote yesterday, right? They want to stay competitive. They want to stay competitive. That's the word on the streets. How can you stay competitive when you're not even competitive right now? I don't know. I don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I don't know how to play chess. I barely know how to play snakes and ladders, so I'm not the smartest guy in the world. But yeah, ask your mom or dad that. Mom, how do you stay competitive when you're not even competitive? Do the math. Man, oh man. Beer Baron saying, let Quinn win some cups in New Jersey. And in the meantime, we rebuild for 5 or 6 years. We become a well-primed team. And then maybe he returns for unfinished business. Damn. Yeah, I'd love to believe you, Baron, but here's the truth, okay? Once you join the Illuminati and the Devils, I don't think you come back. I'm watching the P. Diddy documentary. Yeah, I don't know. What's the saying? Once you go to the devil, what rhymes with devil? I don't. Karma saying rebuilding Canucks don't go together. It's like oil and water. Speaking of which, again, Jersey Shore getting its own Canadian spinoff, Canada Shore. Am I correct on that? I think I am. And what are the chances, man? And it's for entertainment purposes only. I get it. That's life. It's not really of an indication of the state of Canada itself. But, Canada being over the 2025 was one of those years, right? The meanest year ever. It felt like that. And I know there's a lot of love going on the streets in Canada. The internet isn't telling the truth, but when you turn on the TikTok, you turn on the Instagram, you get a lot of people mad at Tim Hortons, right? You got a lot of people saying nasty things about other Canadians, right? You get some of that DT energy from down south. And now we're making a Jersey Shore spinoff. So, yeah, man, this is what happens when Sportsnet Plus sucks and Sportsnet has all the hockey games in Canada, right? We lose some of our identity. We need James Duthie back on our TV screens minimum 3 times a week. Straight up. We need our identity back. Some of it. Sportsnet hogging it all, man. Something else, man. Now we don't have TSN and now we have Canada Shore. This is something else. Man. Andrew, man. Okay, Andrew's being nice today, man. Andrew's always nice. I wish, I was raised by Andrew, a.k.a. I wish Trevor was more like Andrew. I wish I was more like Andrew, okay? Yeah, Andrew's saying, I don't think Hughes is being traded, guys. Noise is noise. I think everyone in the league is exhausted. Guys on the East Coast are also saying they're tired. And, just again, it's just been one of those times, and everyone's hurt. Everyone's mid, like I said earlier, and it's doom and gloom everywhere. And Andrew saying Quinn Hughes not leaving. And it's hard for me to believe that, but, there's moments in my day-to-day where I think about Quinn Hughes thinking that there is unfinished business here. And after winning the lottery this year or getting a top 3 pick, he's open to signing a 2-year extension, right? Making him a UFA at 28, 29 years old, if my math is correct. Like, he's willing to thug it out a bit longer and see this through because, again, this guy's a prideful individual. So prideful that I can guarantee you're never going to see another lollygagging shift from this guy this season. He's Quinn Hughes. He's one of the best to ever do it. And he got caught. And I don't think he's getting caught again. And again, just speaking of the pride, he's the captain of the Vancouver Canucks and the whole unfinished business thing. And is he going to run away? And yeah, it's been bad for him his whole time as a Vancouver Canuck outside of 2 seasons. I know. Why would he want to stay? He's got his brothers on the other side of the world. The family ties, the devil ties, right? Why would he want to stay here when he can join the Illuminati? Dude, I know. But this guy reads books. This guy seems stoic. There's like a 2% chance that he just wakes up on July 1st and he's like, dude, let's take another stab at this. We got the second overall pick. We got this Denver kid, right? Let's see how he looks. Is he the next Leo Carlson? Is he? You know what I'm saying? Let's see this through because you guys made me the captain. You guys made me a better player. You guys believed in me. You guys, helped make me who I am today. And I'm the captain. And I want to try, just give myself one more chance to rebuild this ship and see this through. There's a small chance of that. For real. Last comment. Mike Laval saying, I'll watch the Canucks even if they still suck and actually rebuild. It was exciting watching Hughes, Pettersson, and Besser break into the NHL. And yeah, again, we just want direction. And if they do choose to rebuild, I feel like the same amount of fans will show up to the rink. We've sucked for a decade and a half and we're doing that. You hear what I'm saying? Like we're gonna buy in, and if you give us a path to follow and not this confusing maze with blindfolds on, right? All while poisoning us with your Kool-Aid, right? And it's expensive Kool-Aid too. If you don't do all of that and you just tell us we're getting younger and we want draft picks and we're gonna start from the bottom, it's gonna be fun as a Canucks fan to again watch prospects, listen to other material across Canada, across North America involving set prospects, and try to map this all out. For real. And it'll also be fun watching a team that doesn't necessarily need to win in order to, give their fans some solace and appreciation for, again, what's going on. Because this season was so stressful. Going into it, saved Quinn Hughes, right? Save him, rescue him, make him a Canuck for life. There's a lot of pressure here, and it's been the worst Canuck season. And it's ironic because last year they were, things were bad too. Things were disastrous. Things were like nightmarish, but stylistically speaking, and like just straight hockey watching, this has been the worst the Canucks have looked since Willie Desharnais or whatever, or like I can't even explain it. Like this is the worst Canucks team I think I've watched. And they have so much talent, but there's just, it's just strange. It's strange how bad this team is. And historically speaking, you've heard the smart people say it. This team is playing as bad as the Chicago Blackhawks from a couple of years ago, the San Jose Sharks from a couple of years ago, and those teams plan to rebuild, right? Like they plan to employ the scraps of the league and get to the bottom, and that's how bad we are, if not worse. Straight up. Anyways, my name's Kyle Bound. Hit the like button, support the show. I got to get this out, and I gotta do some playlisting, man. We got some DJing to do. One love to Locked On Canucks, your team every day. One love to the Don't Doze Art Lab for giving you the space, or giving us the space to do this. And hit the link in the bio. We're making a children's book out of the studio. I'll have more information on that next week. But sign up for the waiting list, okay? We need those numbers up. One love, okay? Merry Christmas, peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.